What's going on, guys? So today we are here with Shane, and today I'm going to show you, or we are going to show you, how to take your horns from this to this. Hello horn install on an 05 WRX. We are going to go get to that and show you how it's done. Look at that. That's it. You take the intake. Well, you don't have the snorkel. But essentially, you would probably have to take this piece off, that intake snorkel front clip or little insert off, and here's your horns. One there and one there. And if you have one, this is an oil cooler, but that's not standard. That's aftermarket. So we got a relay. We got a wire up and two horns. It's a Subaru starter kit, man. Do they not run the same harness?
I don't know. That's what we're going to see.
Doesn't look like it. These are the directions. Very confusing. Basically, we got to give it a power and a ground back to here. So we need some wiring. We got to get this relay wired up. We're going to have to run some wiring. Once we get a game plan together and where we're going to run it, we'll show you. But right now we're just taking the 2 bolts that hold the horns on out. Once we get that, you just slide the connector off, and then we will go the route of figuring out how to power them up. Because surprisingly, they didn't give you all of that. So, little annoying in my opinion. I would have expected it, but not a big deal. We can make that work. He's taking it out now. Alright, so it's real simple as far as this setup goes. On the back of your horns, you'll have 2 little tabs here. One of these needs to be a positive, one needs to be a negative. The car supplies a plug which is actually a positive only when the relay clicks. Which is when you press the horn. So all you need to do is hook one of these up to one of these terminals and then just run a wire from here to a ground, which you can use a frame bolt. We will probably end up just running it actually to the battery directly. That just seems to be the easiest route. So what we'll do is we will make a little jumper wire, which I have right here, and we'll connect the 2 grounds together and then put a connector on it, hook it up at the negative terminal on the battery, and then you're done. So real quick, real easy, not a lot to it. The relay, it's given to you in the box. You don't have to use unless you want to use 2 different horn setups. This is a way to do that, so you don't need to use this. Anyways, so this is our ground. We just ran it down through. We're following up the same route for the hood release cable. We'll zip tie it to that, keep it all dressed up in there. That's our ground. We're going to cut this end off, and we're going to splice off of this and share the same ground for both horns. And then, like I said, the plugs that we used originally are going to feed the positive side when you hit that switch. So we got to get the stuff to do that, and we got to figure out how to mount it, because if you look here, we're trying to use the original mounting holes, but when we try to get there, it's blocking where the grill comes in to mount. So we're going to try to modify this so we can get that to fit a little better. And then same thing over here with this oil cooler and everything. Doesn't quite fit, so we got to look at that and see what we can do to make these things fit in there, and then we're good to go. Alright, cut that. So basically, we're going to notch out this corner here in the back, so our bracket will rotate up into there, which will bring the horn up, and it'll still be able to mount in that bottom, that hole right there. It's hard to see, but it's there.
Is that I'm gonna be on YouTube again?
Yep.
Hey.
You want to be on YouTube? You want to say hi to everybody? We took the mounting bracket off and mounted it first. That way we could tighten the bolt, because you won't be able to tighten this bolt with the horn on the actual brackets here. So we just snugged it up. We're doing a test fit right now. So we can slide. Boy. That's where that sits. I don't think that's gonna clear this hole right here.
Yeah.
Right there. Let's see. You want to put this nut on the back real quick, see if that'll hold. Let's grab that grill real quick, see what it looks like. Right there. So, will that go?
Huh?
If we bend that back, because the horn bracket can bend a little bit, and it'll clear. So if we bend that back just even a hair more,
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll go in.
All right. There it is. Bend it. So I know some people are not about modifying kits you get, but believe it or not, when it comes to upgrading parts on your car, you have to do it a lot. So just because you get it and it's made for this car or whatever, which I think this is just a simple, you know, basic kit, not necessarily made for this car, you'll run into stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with modifying it and making it work, man. That's half the fun. So look at that clearance though. I wanna, whew, sorry. Anyways, camera cut out, but there's the clearance. So we're not overlaying on that bracket anymore, so we're good. Tighten it down. All right, while Shane gets the horn mounted here, I'm gonna finish up our little wiring tricks here. Basically, we're just getting wiring with a spade connector, and like I said, this is gonna clip onto the back of the horn. We have 2 of those somewhere. I don't know where to put the other one, but we have 2 of those, and then we also have what I call a top hat, and then basically we're gonna take a feed of 3 wires into a top hat, and then the spade connectors are gonna be on those pigtails. So I'll show you what it looks like here in a second, but that's what I'm doing. We're gonna get those all buttoned up. Now I do recommend not being lazy with this part of it. Wiring is pretty important when it comes to this stuff, so don't be cheap. Don't do wire nuts and tape or just twist them together and tape. That's sloppy, and it's also a good way to cause a problem later. So just make sure you get the right stuff. You know, you can get a pair of wire strippers and crimpers 2-in-1 here, real cheap. If you want to go spend the extra money, I got some nicer stuff that I use at work all the time, but realistically you can get the job done with just this. What are these, like $5?
Yeah.
They're like $5 for real, so just go get some. Now when you're stripping wire, it is important to know what size or what gauge you're using. It is marked on the tool what port to put it in, and it strips it how it's supposed to. That, if you don't know how to tell, that just kind of comes with practice and looking at wire all the time. So this is a 14 gauge, but most of the stuff you're going to see is about 14 gauge when you're doing simple stuff like this. So we got a little jumper here. Strip. This is the ground wire coming from the actual battery. Incoming. Here comes a parade. You're in a fast car. Watch where you're going.
That was
Got another one. Good thing we didn't take that today. We almost took the wiring off of that one. So, anyways, we're gonna have 2 spade connectors. On the tail end is just gonna be open. That's where we're gonna hook in that, what I said like before, a top hat. So we take our 3 wires together with the open ends, get them all twisted together, throw your top hat on. Now on the back of these horns there's 2 terminals. Shane just asked, and I forgot, I haven't told you yet either. It does not matter which one's power and which one's ground. Just make sure one is one and one's the other. So there you have it, guys. So not too difficult, a little bit of fitment issues. I personally am a little annoyed that Hella Horns, or Hella, whoever makes this, Hella doesn't actually send you a little bit of wiring. But luckily Shane had some, you know, some wiring here. I would keep this, by the way. So outside of that, wasn't really a big issue, but something I would wish they would put in the kit. So not too difficult. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I will try to answer it as best I can. Give Shane some feedback on what you think of the install, what you think of the look. I'll show you an end shot here in a second. Thank you to all of you. We are now over 100 subscribers. That's awesome. Let's keep that rolling. Let's get up to 5. 5's the next goal for me. I do have a video on the on my shifter bushings, and I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do that. So we'll get into that here in a little bit in my next video on what's going on with that. So other than that, guys, go have a good day. Go learn something. I'll see you guys later. I'm Bomoney. Say later, Shane.
Later.
We gotta go bug Mater for our Mater tip. Mater, what you got for us?
Did you already tell him to go learn something?
Yeah.
Good. Just do me a favor. Don't learn how to work on RVs because they suck, and they suck bad.
He's not lying. That's actually a useful tip. They do suck. Later.